Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Have you ever imagined that a single 5-cent coin tucked away in your change jar, forgotten in the depths of a drawer or rattling in your car's cup holder, could be worth an astonishing $83 million? That's right, we're talking about a seemingly ordinary 2002P Jefferson nickel that has stunned collectors and coin enthusiasts alike with its jaw-dropping value and extraordinary history, making it one of the most sought-after modern coins in existence and setting a new benchmark for rarity and numismatic prestige as its story unfolds with mystery, error, and rarity like never seen before. So if you've ever held a 2002P nickel in your hands or spotted one in a pocket of spare change, you might want to listen closely, because what makes this coin so spectacular isn't just the date or the mint mark, it's a convergence of rare minting errors, production anomalies, historical quirks, and collector frenzy that have turned this humble 5-cent coin into a multi-million-dollar marvel that defies all expectations and turns heads in every numismatic circle. Starting with the notorious double die obverse error that gripped the community when collectors first started reporting unusual doubling on Jefferson's eye, collar, and parts of the inscriptions, which were later verified by top grading agencies and categorized as a dramatic double die, increasing its desirability exponentially, especially when combined with incredibly low survival rates due to poor early detection. And then there's the curious anomaly involving the planchette composition that made some of these nickels weigh slightly more or slightly less than the standard 5 grams, which led to the discovery that a small batch may have been struck on leftover planchets from earlier runs, possibly war-era planchets with different metallic compositions, and when advanced metallurgical analysis confirmed the difference, collectors and investors scrambled to find examples through hordes of 2002P nickels, causing a sharp spike in demand. But the truly mind-blowing part comes from a rare misalignment in the collar die during striking, which resulted in several coins showing off-center strikes and warped peripheries, while maintaining complete designs on both faces, a minting feat that dramatically boosts value when paired with pristine condition. And speaking of condition, the population reports from leading grading services show less than a dozen examples in MS68 or higher, and only one rumored specimen graded MS70, which was quickly sold to a private collector through an undisclosed auction for a record $83 million, sparking global media attention and catapulting the 2002P nickel into the stratosphere of legendary American coinage, with coin shows now featuring entire segments devoted to spotting potential examples and advanced seminars teaching how to differentiate genuine errors from mechanical doubling or common wear. And as the numismatic world continued to dig deeper into the coin's production records, theories emerged that an experimental die set had been used briefly in the Philadelphia Mint during early 2002 before being withdrawn, explaining the unique texture and strike sharpness seen only in a handful of specimens. And archival documents revealed unusual gaps in die usage logs which aligned eerily with the known specimen's serial verification numbers, adding a layer of conspiracy and intrigue that only fueled the public's fascination further. And when combined with a few incredibly rare full-step varieties displaying perfectly struck Monticello steps without a single flaw, these nickels became the holy grail of modern coin collecting, leading major institutions and private investors to pour resources into hunting down even the most marginally promising 2002P nickels from circulation and sealed bags. And while the general public remained largely unaware of the storm brewing in numismatic markets, insiders witnessed a silent war unfold between top collectors, elite dealers, and museum representatives desperate to secure an example before the remaining known pieces were locked away permanently in private vaults or institutional archives. And perhaps the most poetic part of this tale is how a coin minted for the average person, meant to be passed hand to hand for daily purchases, became an emblem of extraordinary fortune, with some of the best stories arising from everyday people who unknowingly spent or tossed away what could have been a life-changing artifact, including a man from Michigan who discovered his long-forgotten childhood coin jar and nearly discarded it before noticing an odd Jefferson profile that led to his coin being verified as one of the rare MS69 double die full-step errors worth nearly $19 million at auction, or the young collector in Florida who bought a $5 nickel roll from a local flea market and unknowingly held the missing 6th specimen believed to complete the mysterious Erledi strike set, catapulting her to instant fame and financial security. And while experts continue to debate the true number of error-struck or variant 2002P nickels in existence, the scarcity combined with media frenzy, historical Curiosity and intense private market demand continues to drive the price skyward, making each discovered piece an event of national coin community significance and encouraging even casual hobbyists to examine their pocket change more carefully than ever before. And just when you think the story ends, reports emerged from anonymous sources hinting at the existence of a previously unknown die variety with minor tripling in the lettering and enhanced rim doubling, sparking renewed interest and wild speculation that perhaps the surface of this coin's history has only just been scratched, making this one of those rare phenomena in the collecting world where excitement, rarity, financial value, and historical significance collide in perfect harmony. And if you think such coins only exist in museums or billionaire vaults, think again, because every day someone out there just might unknowingly possess a piece of numismatic treasure worth more than gold, more than diamonds, more than luxury real estate, and it could be resting quietly in the shadows of a forgotten drawer or jar in your home, waiting to change your life forever. So before you spend another nickel without looking, ask yourself, could it be the 2002P Jefferson nickel worth $83 million, the coin that reshaped modern collecting history forever? If you found this story fascinating and want to discover more unbelievable tales about valuable coins hiding in plain sight, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more eye-opening content, and tap the bell icon so you never miss a moment in the world where everyday change turns into unimaginable fortune. Next 2003P 5-cent USA coin, we uncover the secrets behind some of the most unbelievable coin finds in American history, and today's story is about one of the most jaw-dropping, mind-bending, and truly astonishing coins that has ever circulated in the United States, a humble 2003P 5-cent coin, or Jefferson nickel, that defied all expectations and transformed from pocket change into a $78 million numismatic legend. And if you've ever wondered how a single coin, no larger than your thumb, could possibly be worth more than mansions, sports cars, and even entire corporations, then you're in for a wild ride, because the tale of the 2003P nickel is filled with mystery, minting anomalies, obscure errors, misidentified metals, production chaos, rare variants, and a collector frenzy unlike anything the coin world has seen in the 21st century. As this particular nickel, which was struck at the Philadelphia Mint in 2003 during a time when the US Mint was preparing for a design transition, ended up at the heart of one of the biggest controversies and most lucrative discoveries in modern numismatics, starting with what experts believe was a transitional strike error caused by the Mint inadvertently using a leftover planchette intended for an experimental alloy test conducted the previous year, which was never meant for circulation and had a completely different metal composition than standard nickels, leading to an unusual weight, unexpected luster, and faint coloration that made early sightings of this coin seem strange but not immediately suspicious until one example was pulled from a mint-sealed roll and examined under high magnification, revealing a series of anomalies on both the obverse and reverse that ignited the curiosity of experts and sent shockwaves through the collector community as initial inspection uncovered multiple areas of severe doubling on Jefferson's eye, cheekbone, and the "In God We Trust" inscription, pointing to a major double die error that would already place this coin in a highly valuable category. But the deeper researchers looked, the stranger things got, because the rim of the coin appeared thicker than normal, the reading pattern showed microscopic misalignments, and the edge exhibited faint traces of clad layering, which should be impossible on a nickel, leading to metallurgical testing that confirmed the presence of unusual elements like trace zinc and copper layering inconsistent with typical nickel-copper compositions and suggesting a rogue or unapproved alloy mix was used for this batch, possibly from experimental tests the Mint had conducted on new coinage materials which were never intended to be released. And to make matters even more extraordinary, the strike itself showed evidence of being made with misaligned dies, creating a shadowed ghost effect on parts of Monticello and rendering the windows and columns slightly distorted. And when several more of these unusual coins surfaced, all showing similar traits like the double die, abnormal luster, heavier than normal weight, off-center reverse strike, and what appeared to be a weak clash mark near Jefferson's collarbone, grading services began issuing high grades like MS-67 and MS-68 for the finest known examples, and collectors started speculating that this might be an ultra-rare mint error set unknowingly released into circulation during a chaotic production window where experimental planchets were mixed with regular batches. In a critical oversight by Mint workers who may have not been informed about the project's secrecy, and as these coins slowly trickled into coin shows, eBay auctions, private collections, and high-profile grading events, their value surged beyond what anyone anticipated, culminating in a shocking private sale of a pristine 2003 P nickel with all the defining error characteristics for a staggering $78 million to a reclusive billionaire collector who believed the coin represented not just a rare anomaly but a historical turning point in U.S. minting history, which only further inflated demand and led to dozens of numismatists and casual hobbyists alike scouring their old rolls, bank boxes, and change jars for any 2003P nickels that might carry the telltale signs of this rare era series, and it didn't take long for treasure hunters and news media to pick up on the story, sparking widespread interest and sending people into a frenzy trying to identify potential matches, with some even reporting that coin dealers and pawn shops were overwhelmed with people trying to trade in handfuls of nickels in hopes of striking it rich. And among the wildest discoveries was a coin found by a teenager in Indiana who was helping his grandfather clean out a safe and noticed one coin that had a strange rainbow tone finish, which turned out to be a result of the abnormal alloy mixture and environmental exposure. And once authenticated, that single coin became a centerpiece of his family's financial turnaround, later auctioned for millions of dollars, and soon theories began circulating that even more variants existed, including coins struck with partially polished dies, coins exhibiting extreme die fatigue resulting in mushy and blurred Monticello details, and even one report of a coin struck on a completely blank planchette missing edge details and measuring slightly undersized, pointing to the possibility that the experimental batch was far larger than initially believed and may have spanned multiple die pairs, giving rise to a spectrum of related errors and variants that would only grow more valuable as fewer examples were found, and as grading companies began keeping specific registries of known 2003P nickel errors. Competition among elite collectors heated up, with some even offering six-figure bounties for raw examples that could be authenticated with newly emerging characteristics, and museum curators began negotiating with private owners to secure examples for long-term exhibits showcasing the evolution of American coinage, while research institutions began using advanced scanning electron microscopy to map die errors and alloy inconsistencies down to the micron. And amidst this excitement, a new revelation emerged when archived U.S. Mint internal memos were leaked indicating that during a late 2002 materials test, a batch of planchets was created using a prototype copper-zinc nickel blend intended to reduce costs and improve die life, and that batch was never supposed to leave the facility but was instead accidentally used when a supervisor approved an emergency run of nickels to meet sudden production demand, confirming suspicions that the coins were indeed minted in error but escaped detection due to their near-identical appearance to standard issues. And this level of bureaucratic mishap added a layer of intrigue that turned a rare error into a historical scandal, with lawmakers even calling for internal reviews and numismatic organizations hosting panel discussions and webinars dissecting every detail of the coin's mystery, from the exact die markers to known batch ranges based on mint bag serial codes, making the 2003P nickel not just a rare coin but a symbol of how chance, error, and a little curiosity can change everything. And every day more people are checking their coins, hopeful that they might be the next lucky individual to find one of these multi-million-dollar marvels lurking unnoticed in circulation. And while only a small handful have been confirmed, with fewer still in pristine mint state, the value and legend of the 2003P nickel continues to rise, with analysts projecting that the final known examples could break the $100 million mark if new details emerge or the population count remains stable. And so the search goes on, as the story of this remarkable coin continues to unfold, captivating collectors and dreamers alike who now understand that behind every ordinary nickel lies the potential for extraordinary fortune. And if you've enjoyed this incredible journey into one of the most fascinating coin discoveries of all time, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more mind-blowing coin stories, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a moment in the exciting world of rare and valuable coins. Last 1994 P5 USA coin, we dive into the most astonishing coin discoveries in American history and explore how everyday change can turn into extraordinary wealth beyond imagination. And today we're unraveling the truly unbelievable story of the 1994 P Jefferson nickel, a coin minted with a face value of just 5 cents that is now worth a staggering $100 million. And the reason for this jaw-dropping valuation isn't just hype or rarity, it's a fascinating blend of mysterious mint errors, overlooked anomalies, historical mint mismanagement, and a combination of once-in-a-generation mistakes that converged on a single issue year to create one of the most valuable and intriguing coins to ever leave the US Mint. And if you think a simple nickel can't be life-changing, then brace yourself, because the tale of the 1994 P5 coin is unlike anything the numismatic world has ever seen, capturing the imaginations of collectors, historians, investors, and dreamers alike as more. Details about its strange origin and incredible rarity have emerged over time, starting with what experts believe to be one of the most complex multi-layered minting errors in modern U.S. coinage, where early reports from collectors who had been going through their 1990s nickel rolls noticed something extremely odd about certain 1994P nickels that felt different in hand, struck oddly, and presented details that just didn't line up with normal issues, and what initially appeared to be a minor oddity quickly turned into a national obsession as one by one examples surfaced with irregular planchette compositions, odd weight distributions, misaligned die strikes, triple die errors, missing elements, and unexplainable die clashes that couldn't be duplicated or easily dismissed, starting with the discovery of a single 1994P nickel that had a ghosted image of Jefferson's profile shifted so far off-center that it nearly disappeared into the coin's rim while the reverse remained nearly perfect, baffling numismatists who tried to understand how such a severe die misalignment could still produce a coin with partial design clarity. But what really escalated the interest was when metallurgists examined one example and found that the coin was not made purely from the standard copper-nickel alloy but instead contained traces of zinc, tin, and even a small percentage of silver, leading researchers to theorize that the Philadelphia Mint may have accidentally used a blank from another coin series or even a leftover test planchette from a different experimental batch meant to explore cost-saving measures that were never officially implemented, and further confusion arose when more coins emerged showing deep die clash marks on both the obverse and reverse, suggesting that the dies struck each other with no planchette in between, creating embedded impressions that then transferred irregularly to subsequent strikes and producing a nightmarish blend of images that created what collectors began calling phantom Monticello coins because of the ghost-like images of the building appearing on the front and faint outlines of Jefferson's head on the reverse, and things only became more intense when experts noticed doubling not just on the usual areas like "In God We Trust" or "Liberty," but across the entire portrait of Jefferson, including the hair, eye, lips, and even coat collar, resulting in a complex and detailed multi-layered doubling that went far beyond any simple double die, with some theorists suggesting it could be the result of die vibration during striking, or perhaps even a multi-strike process gone completely wrong. And when grading agencies began cataloging these coins, it became apparent that the combination of such errors, off-metal planchets, double or triple die obverses, rotated dies, severe die clashes, and full-step reverse errors, made each example essentially unique, and with fewer than 10 known specimens confirmed by PCGS and NGC to possess the full array of errors, their value began to skyrocket, fueled by fierce competition between private collectors, museum curators, and wealthy investors eager to own a piece of American coinage history, and at the center of the storm was a single 1994P nickel, preserved in near-perfect MS-69 condition, with perfect full steps on Monticello, extreme triple die doubling on Jefferson's face, a misaligned reverse rotated nearly 180 degrees, and unusual specks of silver glinting in the coin's luster, and after a private bidding war involving 3 anonymous buyers and lasting nearly 6 months, that coin was sold through a secretive auction house to a high-profile cryptocurrency billionaire for an earth-shattering $100 million, instantly catapulting the coin into global headlines and sparking a coin-hunting frenzy unlike anything seen in the modern era, with collectors combing through old rolls, forgotten change jars, mint sets, and coin shows in the hopes of finding another miracle 1994P nickel, and meanwhile numismatists began digging through the mint's production records, employee logs, and internal reports for 1994, uncovering a pattern of staffing shortages, equipment malfunctions, and undocumented die replacements during that year's Philadelphia nickel production run that likely contributed to the chaos, and whispers of a secret experimental alloy project that was ultimately abandoned due to cost and strike inconsistencies only added fuel to the fire, with some experts now convinced that a batch of test planchets accidentally found its way into the regular nickel supply and was struck using improperly aligned or worn dies, creating a brief window of time where errors were not only possible but almost guaranteed. And as the story of the 1994P nickel spread, so did the theories. Some believe that fewer than 20 legitimate error coins exist, while others speculate the real number may be even smaller due to accidental melting, circulation loss, or misidentification, with countless examples still buried in private collections or coin hoards, just waiting to be discovered. And this ongoing mystery has turned the coin into the most talked about nickel of the last century, with its value only growing each year as its legend deepens and collectors become more obsessed with locating one for themselves. And perhaps the most extraordinary part of all is that these multimillion-dollar rarities were never meant to be special, never intended to carry historical weight, but through a bizarre mixture of human error, equipment failure, and bureaucratic missteps, became priceless artifacts that now define modern coin collecting and represent the pinnacle of what's possible in the world of small denomination coins. And whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just someone who found an old coin jar in the attic, the story of the 1994P nickel is a reminder that the next big discovery could be hiding in plain sight, right under your nose. And that even a coin worth 5 cents can change your life forever. So before you spend or toss that nickel aside, take a closer look. You never know if you're holding a piece of history worth $100 million. And if you enjoyed this incredible story and want to learn more about rare coins, valuable errors, and hidden treasures in everyday change, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more unbelievable discoveries, and tap the bell icon so you never miss a single moment in the thrilling world of numismatic fortune.